All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? We're back again, and this time we have got Dark Exidna. He's an independent artist. He's also a good friend of mine. I've known him for almost 2 years, I think, getting close, anyways.
Around two, yeah.
And anyways, what he is he's an independent artist. The music you are listening to in the background is his creation. The one that you've been listening to for the last 10 minutes is his creation. So he is good. I didn't even know this. I didn't even know he did this stuff. So we're going to find out how he balances this career and content creating. He's also a content creator on Twitch. And yeah, and he's also a verified independent artist on Spotify. Sweet deal. But anyways,
yeah.
With no further ado, here's Dark Exidna. Am I saying that right? I always think I'm
See, that's the name. That's the famous name that just is mispronounced. So that's the whole point of the name is Dark Exidna. Right? Yeah. I always tell everybody it's Exidna, but yeah, it's a quick, a nice little mental game that that setup of letters makes people either just say Exidna. It doesn't. A lot of people cannot say it right, so I kind of picked it for that. But for those everybody that knows me, just calls me Dark.
Yeah, that's the way I call it. Is like, Dark. That's what we're calling Dark.
Yeah.
But anyways, like I said, we've known each other for about a couple of years. We were part of the same. We're part of the same kind of family organization structure that we met through, and we just kind of talk with each other and chat and discords and stuff like that. And like I said, after all this time, it's just like the last few months, I just realized that I didn't realize he did music and good music.
I didn't have that in the plans, man. Believe me.
But hey,
I didn't know I was gonna do that either.
It definitely works for you. Like I said, I got the link to his Spotify account with all the tracks on there. So click on that link in chat.
Yes.
It is very. I mean, is it? It's a combination of different ones, isn't it? I mean,
yes. So right now we currently have two albums released. One of them. Its main intent is just to kind of like a chill vibe, just relax, wind down type of stuff. And the second one's a little bit more up tempo with more drums, based on more drumming. But the whole purpose of those two albums was mostly to just provide some options for the people that just play different types of games, like more chill games. Sometimes just pick something and all of a sudden you'll be listening to a playlist and something completely out of whack will come up and I'll be like, yeah, that's really kind of how it sparked the idea of making some music up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really more chill. Like everybody that's seen my streams, they know that I'm not really like high energy, like, yo, what's up? Let's do it. I've never, it's always been more like chill out, because I stream so late. Sometimes I'm more tired than anything, so I'm just kind of just quiet, just relaxing. So that's really what it sparked everything up. But yeah, we do have another album in the works, and that's gonna be a unique take on old gaming music.
Oh wow!
With some of the touch I have right now. Nice. So it's gonna be it's really good with a good friend of mine that I'm working with.
Sweet. So how do you balance that between? Because I know your full-time job, you work full-time during the day. I know that's a lot of times we communicate back and forth when we're both at work.
Yes, we're some of the workers. Well, it's not easy. I do have a job that kind of demands like around 50 hours a week, more or less. Plus being on call most of the on call 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's really challenging to make some time because not only do you get burned out from work, and sometimes you just don't even want to do anything. You just want to just chill out. So it's not easy at all, and this comes a lot of sacrifice with time sacrifice with the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you try to make some time. That was one of the reasons why I kind of came up with this side project for the music, is because there's something that I could do and not really pay too much like it'll kind of run itself, right? Kind of like a YouTube video that you do. Just kind of like leave it there, promote it,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be live to do that. So that is something that allowed me, since I cannot stream, I'll focus some resources to that. And who knows what we'll do. It's kind of like how you came up with your idea for your podcast, see where that goes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's, we have to try the best we can with the time we have. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, it's just like once you can figure something out to, well, to self-sustain itself to where you put work into it to get it done, and then you just kind of like a little birdie, you just kind of like let it go to fly to see where it's going to go, so
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
for sure.
all you got to do is just go back and check on the stats and make sure that they're getting where they need to be, and and work on it from there once it gets to that point. But
Exactly. And you know what? I mean, you've been so supportive of the music. A lot of people, family, friends have been really supportive of it. I have my kids in the background. I'm sure you can hear
yeah,
them,
yeah.
right? They're just giggling, but they're probably laughing at me. But it is something that uh, it's really cool to watch the support, because you can track, Spotify and other platforms help you keep track of all that stuff. And it's really cool, man. It's really cool. It's kind of encouraging to see that support, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to just promote those that support me, and just continue to put something, I think, some good quality.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
this new terrain to me. Music is a whole new field that I never expected I would have a foot in.
Oh, yeah, I totally understand that part. Being on, doing the talk show and everything else, that was like, that's always something that's been like in the back of my head to do, like for the last year or so. But I never had to tell you the honest to God truth, I never had the guts to do it.
See, it's weird. It's very weird. How I don't know I know exactly your story behind streaming, how it started, but I mean, when I started streaming, I just started from the Mixer app on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, I did not want to put a camera on. I was so self-conscious about something,
Yeah.
And like you said, this kind of just threw you. This just life just throws you down a path and see like, yo, you're gonna stumble, but
Yeah.
roll with it, right? So
Yeah, I think it's one thing you got to get over. You just got to get over the fact it's like there's only two options in it. You can either
yes,
succeed or you can fail.
absolutely.
There's no in between. So it's either. So it's like, and plus I think a lot of times too is like if we've had like a long, if we've had a history of, I think, hold on, let me take this back. As we get older, I think we realize that the failure is not a failure. It's just another choice to do better. Kind of
Hmm.
concept. So it's just
Yeah,
like
for sure.
just like me, I failed at trying to play games. But I mean, I don't play games like in a competitive way. I play games just to have fun,
Sure.
and so, and then I started thinking, it's just like, man, I'm more comfortable where I'm at now. I'm more comfortable talking to people. Because most of my streams, even when we play games, by the end of the night, we're chatting for 4 or 5 hours instead of playing games.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, if I can do that, then I can probably do this. So yeah, it's kind of like the music. It's like I said, it's with anything in life. It's just like you're either gonna fail at it or you're gonna succeed. But it's the way you treat the failure is how you're gonna
Exactly.
succeed. So
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
if you let the failure tear you down and not want to do anything, instead of looking at it at a different angle, and said, because I always tell people, it's like step back and look at what you're doing and look at what you did, and see if there's anything, look at it as a different perspective, and see if there's anything different you can
Right.
do.
Right. A different scope, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for from a different. Yeah, exactly. So, um, I think like every streamer is, well, not every streamer, but most streamers are probably their own worst critic. So,
Yeah.
um, it came to a point where realistically, just because of all the time and the lack of streaming, um, that I wasn't able to do, it kind of just started steering me into something that I put so much time and effort into what I believe is my brand or my channel, right? My community, that I felt like I didn't want to feel stagnant and saying
Mm.
like, streaming is all I can do and is all I'm gonna do. It's just not gonna lead me anywhere. So I just figured, might as well try. Started thinking, I was like, well, what can I do? Well, YouTube videos and all that stuff takes a lot of time, which is exactly what I
Yeah.
don't have. So you start looking at things, and it really the music project just sparked out of one time I was streaming and I was playing this open world game, because normally what I play, and I was listening to music, and I just couldn't find something, and I was like, man, I really wish I could just have a playlist of just drums
Mm.
and something that complements the drumming. So I started thinking of that, and then eventually that's really kind of what sparked it. I was like, I wonder how hard it would be to come up with something, like a song.
Yeah.
We did one song, and then it's like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And you start building it together, and then you're like, okay, well, we got something good. I was getting feedback and whatever, and then I just decided, let's just go with it. Let's just do it and see where it goes. And I mean, I was pretty fortunate to work with some really talented people with music, musicians, and here we are now. So that's cool.
So all this is actually people getting together and doing things. I mean, it's not electronic. I mean, it's actually.
Yeah. There's the drumming album is a buddy of mine that's a drummer.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
actual drums,
Okay.
and then the rest was just kind of like, okay, just a lot of online sessions of like, this is what I came up with. And then see, like to me, it's I always struggled musically, like as an artist, to place an instrument, right?
Mhm.
I always, in my mind, I was always a drummer. In my heart, I've always been a drummer,
Yep.
but ask me to play something and I'm garbage.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But what I've always had, looking back, I've always had that little thing for like, I would hear something, so friends of mine would play, and I'll be like, "How about you try this, or try this instead?" And kind of like schematically putting it all together, and it kind of just how it played out. So I pitched the idea to a friend. He came back with me and said, "Hey, okay, well, this is what I came up with. Cool. I like this section, this section, this section. Let's scratch this. How about this? Or give him some samples." And then it was like, okay. So it kind of just Frankenstein the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it came out. I think the product was good. It was
No.
entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. So it's like, I like this thing. So
No, that puts a whole new perspective, because most of the stuff you hear like this is all done just with a mixer. Just somebody sitting
Right.
behind a computer with different tracks and just putting them together, as or
Yes.
having a board that they actually they're doing it themselves, instead of actually having somebody physically with the instrument doing the sound, and then you just
Yeah,
putting it together.
sampling it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the chill stream is a little bit. It's 100%. Like you said, like just quarterbacking and putting the
Wow.
puzzle together. The
Okay.
other one is drumming. And then, like I said, the third one that's in the works is more of like my buddy. He's a keyboard artist, so
Oh, okay.
he does a lot of music sampling and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like, uh, I mean, I spoke with even people that ran like a music studio, and I was like, hey, can we work together on this? And so of course, not everybody's going to be open to that
Yeah.
idea, and it's a balance of that and resources, finances, the artwork for the album, like all that stuff was just kind of planned ahead,
Yeah.
and then kind of just putting it all together.
Yeah. No, like I said, like I said, when I first hear, because like I said, you hear it all the time. Because I'm, you hear all these new, streamer songs and stuff like that. People, put together tracks and samples, but most of them you can, you just automatically think it's just somebody behind, just pulling, either that or having the software to just make the piano, make the keyboards, make the, the drums and everything else, and they just kind of put it all together right there. But like I
Right.
said, it's really it makes the music more appreciative now that I know that it's actually people actually putting hard work in behind it
Yes.
than
Yeah.
just sitting behind a keyboard and doing it.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's why I really like the drums, because it's it has a like a natural, like if you would sit in somebody's, let's per se, garage or studio, you could hear that sound of drums like a natural sound. So I mean, that's kind of what we liked on that one. Um, and I mean, my wife, she knows I love music. We both love all kinds of music, and but for one of my birthdays, she gifted me an electronic drum set, right?
Oh wow.
And and the what that had to be one of the hardest decisions I had to make was for me to let it go, because
Mm.
I tried. I kid you not, Rebel. I tried, and and I was like, it's not coming out. My hands were hurting. I don't know if it's gonna be arthritis or whatever, but it was wording in odd ways, and time was another one.
Yeah.
Of course, I already have a hobby at the time, gaming and streaming. You know, they suck up a lot of your time
Oh
if you're
yeah.
stressed out. So it came to a point where I was like, she told me, she's like, you know what? I know you love it, but if you're not using it, just get rid of it. You know? And she's like, so I did. And kind of looking back now, I'm kind of kicking myself in the head, because I was like, I could have been using that equipment too, you know, to make my own music. But uh, hey, everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
yeah, it's yeah, time is a big thing, especially like I said, if you work a full-time job and trying to make a career out of doing anything, whether it's streaming or, making music or anything like this here. Yeah, it's and also you got to learn to and if you ask my wife, she says I haven't learned it yet to combine family into that too.
oh yeah,
So that was my biggest thing is like like I was talking to Weepy earlier. It's just like when we come into our little area here, this is our sanctuary, our getaway, our
yes,
blockage from everything that anything. Once we shut that door or whatever we're in, or we get behind here and we zone out into here, this is all we know.
yeah,
So
for sure.
it does get to be trying on the family. Like I said, you just asked my wife, she just started slamming doors.
It's like,
But
whoops, sorry, and just slams it
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, that's awesome. So you already told me it's like you had a thing with drum, because I'm a drummer too. I played drums in high school, so
nice.
I understand the thrill and the draw to going towards that, because
Yes,
I did high school marching band. I did pep band, which I played the trap set, and I tried to do jazz band, and yeah,
okay.
that wasn't. I was like you. It's just like it would sound good for like the first 5 seconds into it, and then after that, it's just like it's total crap. So, but I've always had my number one thing, if I ever could do, would be drumming. Because I just love it, just
Yes.
because my all my teachers and everything else said I had the talent and I had the skill. I just didn't put forth the effort, a lot of it, and I don't know if it was just
Mhm.
because I was young and just I just didn't think that far ahead. But
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I that in we'll say, yeah, middle school. My buddies were all rock fanatics, and they all started like making their own little bands,
mm,
garage bands and whatever. And I remember my friend would tell me, "Just sit on the drums, dude. Get on the drums." And I'm like, I have no experience in this. Yes, we love the same music. I don't know how it's like, hey, we're all learning. They were literally everybody was just picking up guitar and be like, okay, why do you do this? And then
yeah,
the drums, and it's crap. It's just little little things to stay busy.
yeah,
And I so hardly regret not saying, just because I was shy.
yeah,
I was like, I don't want to look like an idiot, but I would rather see my friends look like idiots,
yeah,
and then but then again, years later, they were in the band. I was not,
mm,
but it always felt like I was part of the band,
yeah,
because we were like talk about music and the ideas and blah blah blah. And see, so that's kind of like all embedded in,
yeah,
but it was, I really regret that, because like you, I wish I would have been like, man, I wish I would have stuck to it.
yeah,
But then again, how would we know, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Life has its own. Just like everybody says, you can make your own plans, but And that's the reason why I quit planning anything. It's like every time I make a plan, it just goes right down the hill. So
Yeah.
everything I do is by the seat of my pants anymore nowadays.
I mean, seriously, like people ask me, let's say I'm gonna give like my family members, cousins, or whatever. They're not really too familiar with the content creating stuff side of the world. They're like, so what's your hobby? You're still into games? I'm like, no, I'm into streaming now. And oh, what's that? And it's like, try to explain it, and they kind of look at me like, you're dumb, like it's such a dumb idea. And I was like, well, I love it, so who cares? Yeah. But then later they got to see like, what my channel looks like and all that stuff, and they're like, wow, so this is legit, huh? And I was like, I mean,
no, it's just like, something that
yeah, it's just, I'm streaming it from a dial-up modem, and cranking the gerbils up. So it's just like, so some people I gotta keep it up in mind that don't know your world. But then I showed the music to my dad, and my dad was like, oh my god, so all freaking out. Nice. How do I follow you on his phone? I was like, that it's okay, you don't know how to you don't know how to operate your phone. It's okay, I know you follow me in your heart. but it's one of those things, like, just it is a different world. It's so cool. It's so awesome to get to meet people, like how we met, and how you network and all that stuff. But once you start seeing like a broader picture, and you're like, oh, it's cool. Like I just started doing the YouTube editing for because I'm gonna eventually put these albums on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And just to make I had no experience in video editing, so I was like, okay, this is coming along together, but it's taking so much time. So it's like, it's just
yeah, editing's my worst nightmare. It's like I said, editing, because I went through and like I said, that very first one that we were a part of, and we were doing the test run for this, that was like, a real drawn out long night, but it was fun. But it was something that not a part of what a podcast or podcast needs to be. It was just a kickback, just kind of have fun, making sure.
Yeah.
And but so it's one of the things you do, editing that. Oh, that killed me, man. It's just like going through, because there was some things I had to cut out that was not appropriate for YouTube, and not appropriate, because, and probably not appropriate for Twitch. So, and that's why once I got it all highlighted, I just deleted the VOD off of Twitch and just put the highlights up. Because I knew there was some things on there that it was way too long for people to watch, because they weren't going to watch. I think the total time on that night was like 8 hours.
Yikes.
And
this is a long YouTube video.
Yeah. So, I cut it down to just, I tried to cut it down just to the points where we were talking, and the talking points and stuff like that, and just left it at that. But it's just, the more, and I think the more you do it, the easier it might get. I don't know. I haven't found that easy part yet, but
yeah.
But I understand why people hire people to do it now.
Right? You see it, and you're like, I wonder if I should just kind of like toss this buck to somebody else. But then again, like, I've seen you work on your stream so much, change things here and there, modify. I'm the same way. You kind of just like, okay, something's not quite right. Yeah, you do that one time, and then you find that one thing that just irritates the hell out of you, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I think that for people like us, it never ends.
Yeah.
Like, you could always just say, sure, I'll hire somebody, but at the time is like, let's just go through the growing pains and figure this out, and then eventually, like you said, it'll get easier.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna be doing like 10 of these, so it's like just setting it up. It's all right.
Oh yeah, that's why I sit there and it's like I told myself after I got done with the calendar this month, I'm like, holy crap, I can't do this. I can't do this many in a month anymore. Because I had Weepy, I have you, I have Reanimator Tuesday night, and then I have one Friday and Saturday, and then the following Saturday. And it's like, okay, I need to, and plus they're all over the times, they're all over the place. So I know that's going to be hard for people to catch. That's why this month here is basically just, I'm focusing on growing the YouTube side of it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's just like, the editing part is like, man, I'm going to be spending most of my time editing these videos. They might be up before the 1st of October.
Yeah, right. Like, it's like I see I mean, I barely started, right? I haven't done it
Yeah.
as long as you have, but I mean, I look at the computer and then I look at my Xbox controller and I'm like, you know what? I was like, I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna play Hades right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just, but at the same time, it's just those unfinished things that you have in your mind that
Yeah.
is like, I, I'm just stalling,
Yeah.
stalling. And it's just, so.
Well, and that's like I told you, that's what I did with this. I stalled it out for almost a year. And I talked to a bunch of people that were
Yeah.
wanting to co-host it with me and do things like that, and their time constraints, their time didn't match with my time, and then plus when things started opening back up, that just kind of opened up or closed some doors on what we wanted to do together. So it's just like, well, I go, and I'm not that good at it. I didn't. I mean, I like gaming and stuff like that, but when it came to like I was saying, we'd sit there and game for a couple of times, and then by the end of the night, we were talking half the night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I really, I mean, yeah, views and people in chat and everything else would be awesome, but I just do it. It's my release from the day, just like I said.
For
So,
sure. And I think that's what comes down to it all. Like, I think if the moment you stop stressing about, well, at least for me,
mhm.
I should clarify that. The moment I stopped stressing about the number aspect of things, I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm enjoying it
No,
way more than just like all this pressure. Like I had a schedule and I was just forcing stuff
yeah,
and stressing the family out for no stupid reason. I mean, I say stupid, I say it lightly because obviously you have your community that you want to support and give content to,
yeah,
right? But and especially people subscribing and donating, you kind of feel like, man, I don't want to let them down
yeah,
because but but at the same time, it's like, is it really gonna be worth it for me to stress everybody in my household out, rush everything, rush dinner, do all this stuff, and then upset the wife, which is the worst thing you can do,
yeah,
and then go live for a couple of hours, and it's like or just be completely exhausted.
yeah,
Like sometimes, I mean, there's times where I'm just too tired, too stressed from work. I'm not even in a good mood, and I think at that point, just playing games alone would be good, but setting everything up and all this stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I know you have your room, your doghouse sanctuary. Mine's in the living room, dude.
Oh,
You
mine was
know,
when I started. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it's like, it's I like I tell everybody, we have the one TV, which is the one I play on, and when it's stream time, it's like I tell my family, all right, kids, cartoon's over. We're gonna start bedtime and everything because I'm gonna take over the living room. So sometimes it is a little bit of guilt, like, oh shit, that's kind
yeah,
of messed up. But yeah, it's also setting up the green screen, doing all the things, all the bells and whistles and everything. And it's like, since it's not stationary,
yeah,
you always have to tweak it and
yep.
do certain things. Or so, sometimes it's just like, man, I don't know. It's like, I'll skip
Well,
it tonight.
well, it looks really crisp and clean. I like it.
Well,
So
thanks, man.
yeah.
Thanks.
No, like I said, yeah, I started out the same way. As soon as my wife was done watching TV, that's when I took over the TV at the night and I played video games.
Hmm.
And because I started playing games. Let's see, like I said, when I started streaming, I was down for like 3 weeks for a surgery. So my wife we went out and bought an Xbox because I didn't have nothing else to do.
Oh wow.
I couldn't
Okay.
go back to work because I had to wait for the surgery to recover. And so I started playing Xbox. Well, and that's how I found Mixer on the Xbox app.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
heard of Twitch, and kind of seen a little bit of it, and heard of Justin TV, kind of seen a little bit of that, but it just didn't interest me.
Hmm.
And then I started watching the YouTube stuff because that was a few years back. It seems like it's been here forever, but streaming is still new.
It really is.
I mean, it's only been around 10 years for the most part.
I know. You look at Tim the Tan Man, you're like, you think he's done it for ages, and I mean, he
It's like because
seems that way.
because when we were doing like the one of the last episodes, I was sitting there. It's like I can't believe it. It's like it's only been around for 10. Really, really around for 10 years. So it's just like it was just amazing. It's like how things have grown in those 10 years. but how much things have failed too in those 10 years,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know. So it's like to see people, even I've always, I was always told when I first started, if you make it 30 days doing this, if you make it 30 days and you continue to do it, then you probably have a career sooner or later in it.
Hmm.
Because so many people give up after 30 days because of no viewership or no,
Yes.
or they find out what work is involved in it, and stuff like that. So,
Right, right, and it's like what a lot of the more successful streamers, they will say like it didn't happen overnight.
no,
It's just is the it's something that, like you said, it takes a lot of time, patience, but it does require a lot of work. I don't think I could do like what full time streamers do.
no,
I don't think I could do that, but at the same time, like I do feel like there is that little bit of that little curiosity that is like, what if I had 4 days to stream?
yeah,
How different would it be? Would it be a little bit more successful than I currently am? So in a lot of ways, I feel like trying other things would be the best option for me, just because I know that 2 days a week, not gonna do anything.
yeah,
You know, like your true core community that will follow you no matter what,
yeah,
and that's unheard of, right? That's pretty amazing. People do that, but it's just like, at some point you're like, okay, so are we gonna grow? Are we going? What are we trying to do here? So I think that's when it's like, okay, well, maybe let's try. Let's just be realistic. I think that's the biggest thing, that a lot of people do not look at it realistically. They
yeah.
think,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
somebody's gonna capture that one moment, right? The one thing that's just gonna skyrocket me to, no, I mean, it's it's kind of far fetched, but possible. But it's just it's
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you
just like
just have to be realistic.
yeah, it's just like playing the lottery. You have that 1 in 1 billion chances of actually, hitting the big number. But
Yeah.
it's as long as you keep it in the back of your mind that it's actually fun trying to get to that point. And
Right. Yeah.
like what you're doing with your music and everything else. It's just like you're incorporating a different structure into what you want to do on top of something that you can incorporate into your stream
Yes.
and still do both of them, and both of them will pick, not really piggy, I guess, yeah, I'd be piggybacking off of each other sooner or later. and
Sooner or
and,
later, that would
and
be the goal. Yeah.
yeah, and your music will kick off, and then the people that listen to your music will see your stream and come into your stream and see the person. And because you're a real person, you're not a character, you're not anything else, you're you.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what's missing out of content creation totally today, is the fact that people want to be a character. They want to be something that is going to draw people in. The bells and whistles and flashes and everything else. That's kind of what, I think so many people try that in the beginning. I think it's why they fail. Is like,
Mhm.
because I think today's world wants to see more. Consider we didn't get a lot of interaction for the last 2 years, so I think now the new viewership is kind of like leading to the point to where they actually want to know you. They want to meet
Yeah.
the person instead of the character behind
The
the person.
relatable person, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that when kind of like when the channel started, and you're like, okay, well, I want to take it a little bit more professional, and then you're like, okay, well, I need to come up with a logo, what it's gonna be, blah blah blah, and you just kind of start thinking. And a lot of people make the mistake that they plan in the now moment, like
yeah,
instead of future proofing their stuff, right?
yeah,
And or they'll just think of that. Okay, I just want to do this right now, and they go with that, and then later well, I need a name change. Doesn't really work,
yeah,
or things like that. But it's kind of like one of the things that my the artwork and everything is really my original artwork since I started streaming, like with this brand. It's just kind of polishing a bit of it, but it was just how do I say it? It was it kind of paid off to plan it ahead of time and saying like, okay, I wish I could do this, use it for other things aside from streaming. When we came up with the illustrations that I've made or have made, had made, whatever, but it was thinking of like, okay, how many ways can I use this? And in the end, it kind of just showed itself to light because like the illustration behind me, that was the very first design I had hand drawn for my character.
Oh wow.
And outside of a logo perspective, because
Yeah.
you've seen my logo, right?
Yeah.
And it's like okay, well, I kind of wanted to start a world for my brand per se. So it's like something where everybody's gonna live in, give it an identity, give it kind of somewhat of a backstory, and then see where that leads. So that illustration ended up being um, the animated version for the YouTube video and the cover art for the one of the albums, which is So It Begins.
Nice.
So it was like, okay, it kind of gave itself an identity and all within the same brand, right? So it was like, I'm not gonna redo things. With the music, I was like, I'm not gonna redo. I'm gonna use this. I can use this. It works. It applies. So It Begins is more, like I said, more drum based or whatever. But kind of wanted to give it the feel of, like the spray paint, kind of like some weird going on, but it's like a more like aggressive tone,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you look at the Chill album, the Ponder album, that illustration I had made, that picture I had made for the end of my stream, and then when I started at the same time I was working with the music, and I was like, okay, so I picture Ponder as just was like the feel for like, okay, stuff you have playing when you're just either brainstorming or just chilling, just thinking about nothing or thinking about something. And it kind of just all kind of like clicked together and said, okay, well, I picture my character, which is the one back here, just looking into fire, thinking about something, and the nothingness of the open area. So it's kind of like how it played out. And that same illustration, I have it animated for the YouTube video. So it all kind of like clicked together. So we'll see what we do with the third album, because on that one we don't have anything ready. So it's gonna be interesting.
No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, when I started looking at your YouTube stuff and everything else, it was, you could tell you put a lot of work and detail into it. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I think it's one thing it's going to show in the long run too. It's like people that put the work and the detail into what they do, that to me, that kind of, I don't look at it as flashy and try to, hey, look at me type of thing. I look at it as like, if you're going to put work into something like your graphics and stuff like that, that says to me that you're actually taking a serious role in what you want to do. So, I mean, it's just like, I mean, I see people going, just like with logos, I see people going onto these sites and just, picking a logo that kind of matches. Yeah. But when you do one that kind of, it's just like with me, it's just like, there really isn't I could do a dog, but I think a dog is like overused on everything, but I don't know. It's just like, like when I picked the logo for the Doghouse Live, yes, that was something that I found in one of the deals, but I manipulated it to what I wanted it to look like. And it resonated with me, because it kind of separated the fact that the doghouse, but the reason, and like I said, the backstory of the doghouse is it's a place for everybody to come. Usually the reason why I started the doghouse is like I'm always in the doghouse, with my wife, so that's the reason what kicked it. Right. So if you ever get kicked out to the doghouse, you can tell your wife, all right, bye, where you're going, right, and come here. But anyways, yeah, if you put a lot of work into what you do, and I don't know, it just shows to me that somebody actually likes what they're doing, and loves what they're doing and has belief in what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I always tried. I think I've with my community, the Dark Legion, I've always tried to I give back to them a lot, like a lot. Sometimes I tell them like, "Yo, dude, like take it easy." But we had an illustration. I had an illustration made just to thank the Dark Legion, and in that Dark Legion illustration, I put little symbols that represents like my one of my the most loyal people I've had, um, uh, and like I would put their logo or something that reflects them. Like if somebody's called being Fish, one of the characters, it's pretty much an army behind me, an army of warriors, and some of them would have little key items uh, like a fish engraved in their armor. Another guy like a tattoo of a spiral. His name is Deadly Spiral, and things like that. That I just decided to come out and I put it in the background of of the stream, but I was putting t-shirts and send some to them. But
Oh, wow.
like those little, it's always like the attention to detail that I've always think a lot of people don't see, but when they look into it, they're like, "Oh, okay, oh, that's cool." I didn't know that, or like the story of the one of the songs. It's called "The Legend of Darkybot" um, in one of the albums. Darkybot used to be my bot and mixer, Scotty Bot,
Oh, really?
and he kept all the stats of all my people and everything. And whenever you would do, so much, so you accumulate so many points in the bot, you would get prizes automatically, and it would be like a gift card, or it could be a $10 whatever, or it could be even a game if you got to the max level.
Yeah.
That's expensive. If luckily Darkybot died and saved me a lot of money, but uh, all my community were like, what happened to Darkybot? Because it wiped out. I got to a different bot, and none of that stuff could carry over for some reason.
Oh,
So they said, "Oh, Darkybot died," right? So I put the Legend of Darkybot as one of the songs there. So uh, so it begins. I'm sorry, the Ponder album is actually the name the names of the songs. It's actually kind of starts like a journey from uh actually, well, both of them actually, they're both kind of like try to make you picture your character going through certain based on the title
mhm.
and the feel of the song. Of course, it takes you to a certain process to like, okay, from the beginning to the top of the mountain type of stuff. And so those who follow my stream, they kind of know what's up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds to some it sounds silly, but it's like, to me it's like, well, there's a meaning behind that name, or there's a meaning behind
Well,
that
no.
artwork or something.
Yeah, and that's what needs to be. I mean, that's what makes it stand out. Is if there's a meaning behind it, it's just like anything we do. It's like anything we create. If there's a meaning behind it, it makes it even more special.
Absolutely.
It makes
Yeah,
it more. And once people, and that's why I kind of like doing this kind of stuff, because if with you coming on and telling them that right now, now it's going to be on YouTube. So if anybody wants to go through and know your history of how this was created, why it was created, what's behind it, now they understand it was a personal touch, and just instead of something that you just randomly thought one night and just put it together.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, those who pick it up and see it, I mean, it's always like the feedback's always welcome. It's always like, hey, I appreciate what you did here, or this and that, and it's great. Like, I think that's a reward in itself to get that, for people to notice those things. Like you're very meticulous in how you select things, so you'll see something that 100 people won't see, and
Yeah.
you're like, hey, that's a cool thing you did. I was like, oh, okay, well, there you go. That's that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what it was for.
Yeah, and usually it's just like people always sit there and say, "Oh, you're doing a good thing." It's like, I'm hoping it's a good thing, but it's just like, I just do it because I like meeting new people. I mean,
Right.
my self gratification out of the deal is I get to know more about you, and I get to know more about the people that I interact with on a daily basis. And it's like, because other than that, it's like all I see is you behind a screen, or Weepy behind a screen,
Mm-hmm.
and we chat and chat, or Twitter or whatever. But You know, when I can
Right.
come down on one and sit there and talk to people and find out, where they come from, how they got to where they are and where they're going. It just makes me I don't know. It makes a closer connection. I believe. I just don't want to sit there and say, "Hey, I know dark." Now I can
Yeah.
sit there and say, "I know dark."
Right. Yeah, and also like on my part is to say, hey, I was part of that. You dedicated time for you allowed me to do this on your on what your project is. So that's pretty
Yeah,
special because you never know where it's gonna go, and hopefully hopefully becomes big, becoming more successful. You're like, hey, I
yeah,
was part of that. That was pretty cool. Like
yeah,
but yeah, for sure. Like you get to just have a one-on-one conversation with somebody. That's pretty neat.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like the big things that we had. It's like I was talking to Weepy earlier. It's just like hopefully maybe once all this, I get done with this month here, we can sit down, just have a one night and get everybody together and just kind of kick back on have a few drinks and just talk about
Hmm.
whatever. Just kind of like we did the first time, and
The
just
first
no
time, yeah,
topic and just kind of chill out and just have fun.
yeah,
Um, so you kind of touched a little bit on your family. So your family, I mean, is the reason why I ask this about people is like their family contribution to it is because my family is some of the older generation type family that really don't understand what this is, and
right,
so I started with nobody. I started with I didn't even know how when I first started. I didn't even realize to pull up my own stream to get my first view. So I started out
yeah,
for months and months and months with 0 views. You know, so it's just like, and I think having that family structure behind you or some type of a community structure, and I think it's why so many people join these discords is to try to get a community structure to help them, boost their self confidence. But I think the most important thing is I think family. I mean,
for
because
sure.
those are your closest critics.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, sometimes like my wife has told me like, "You said what?" I was like, I know. I thought it was cool. I'm sorry."
Exactly.
Yeah, but sometimes she'll be like, you're pretty. She's always said like, you're a different person when you're on camera. Like I said, I'm not really as like talkative. I'm very quiet, actually. But she was
Yeah.
like, when you become your little alter ego, then somebody else comes out and she's like, I like that person. It's pretty cool because some like it's a different side of the person you've known for years, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, just to know that she's like, I know you love it. I know you're passionate about it. So it's great to see that. And then she'll see something that I'll pull up, some design. I sent you the disc, I don't know, so you could see it, the banner that I did for my Legion. And that Legion, my family's there, actually.
Oh, really?
And it shows my wife and my 2 kids. But yeah, I think it was when I started streaming, my wife was pregnant with my first son, right? So so it wasn't nothing was gonna be serious about streaming. I just went live and said, "Oh crap, people are watching me right now." So I guess I'll grab the microphone from my headset and start talking. And then I was like, "Oh, they followed. Oh wow, they followed me. That's pretty neat." And more people followed. Okay, it started leading in a little bit more addicting. And then we had our first baby. It was hard, helping her deal with the baby and everything. It's pretty challenging. So then, life kept on going, and then we had a second baby. So you could see like, okay, should I stop doing this because like I love it. I'm passionate about every single time I go live, but it's like, is it really worth the time, right? What's that? I need mom's phone. Oh, I don't know. Here. Sorry, they're all
No,
being
don't.
quiet around the
Nah,
house.
no need to be sorry.
Um, but he but they so there's always that question like, man, should I stop doing this? And
Yeah.
sometimes like my wife will be like, you know what, I love you so much, I love you to death, but it's hard. It's hard for you to go over there and I'll keep the kids. And it's like, yeah, I mean, eek,
Yeah,
I feel bad, you know.
I know. My wife's the same way. She's like, I mean, we share her daughter between, we get her on the weekends and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
it's like with everything going on with, really not much to do. And I'm not an outside person anyways. I do not like going public places a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
me neither.
she's the totally opposite. She likes to she's a social butterfly.
Hmm.
But, I'm with you. I understand, when I do this, that's the reason why I cut back a lot of the gaming sessions and just started working on this, is because as soon as I didn't realize it was going to kick off like this. So with so many people wanting to come in, but, it's like, I cut back so I could spend more time, doing things with her and stuff like that. But,
Right.
and, but yeah, it's
good.
hard. It's hard. It's hard to do.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to balance family with what you want, with a passion, a career passion,
Hmm.
So yeah. Let's see. Well, what was the hardest thing? What was the hardest part about you getting started doing this, doing the music, doing the content creating?
Oh, the hardest part was, I want to say, investing in something financially, uh, because I think for the entire side of the project, like all of these projects, to obviously help from people, and my biggest priority was, I want to make sure that they get, you know, compensated for their time, especially their time.
Yeah.
So it was that commitment to saying, okay, well, I'm going to commit to something and go through with the funding or whatever for it, and not knowing what's going to happen. Not, for example, always thinking or always concerned that, oh, I may not get verified on Spotify.
Yeah.
Uh, Nobody's going to listen to this, or like stuff like that. So it was that I had been saving some money for some time, and eventually I think we would have gone to the stream, or more gifts from my community or stuff like that. That it was like, well, let's do it. Let's see where this goes, and the artwork and stuff like that was like things that I had to just kind of consider. That was I think I want to say the most challenging thing that oh, okay, love you. Love you. Yeah. I think it's that.
What's up, Trey?
Because of it could have been, it's money that I could have used somewhere else. It's always like you'll second guess something and be like, well, should I do this? But I think that the rest was somewhat easy, actually. Kind of music transition was pretty. A lot of people supported me along the way. So I was pretty blessed in that way.
Sorry, I was reading chat. Triple Trey's in there. He kept saying it took him an hour to get into chat.
Oh, dude.
But said made me wait an hour to chat, bro. Well, why did it make you? I don't understand why it's making him wait an hour. Maybe it's just because it's Trey. They know who Trey is.
Maybe.
Twitch is like,
we're gonna make sure you're in your best attitude. Yeah, best behavior.
But yeah, no, yeah,
buddy.
It's very hard. There was one thing I like to know. It's just like when you first started content creating.
Mm-hmm.
No, it says follower chat only. It does. Is that like an automatic? Like I said, I guess I didn't pay too much attention all night. Where's the Twitch? Well, that's a good thing. You followed, right? You must have if you got in. I'm supposed to be on follower only.
I was double checking on my end. I was like, I hope.
I mean, I am trying to grow followers on here, so. And it says I have to be a follower for 1 hour to chat. What?
Wow.
I'll have to check into that because nobody else has done it that I know of.
Well, One of those things you write down.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm. But yeah, so yeah. So whenever you started content creating and stuff like that, I just always kind of curious. It's like whenever you got that first big raid or that first big host, I mean, what was like? Was it like something like you were just like a deer caught in headlights, or?
Yes. Well, no, not like stomped, but it's just like I was stumbling up in my own words, trying not to freak out when obviously I was freaking out, and it was so obvious to people. But it was a big raid, a big host on Mixer. It was like 150 people, and I was freaking out, dude. I mean, it was like I never thought I would experience something like that, and then it happened, and I was like, okay, you're in the moment. You're in the moment. Don't fuck up. And then as just trying to carry a conversation with just 5 people, it's hard for me in chat. So trying to keep up, seeing all these friendly faces from other streams in that one host was like, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? I was glitching at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twitch has been a different. I mean, done a few good raids, but not as that one. Not as that one. I was like, wow, almost broke me.
Oh, it was set on follower only mode for 1 hour. Wow, that must be a default.
Okay.
Because like I said, this is it's not a brand new channel, but it just got rebranded last night, so it's just like I never really been into it. Because when I started the Bartcast, I started this for the Bartcast,
yeah.
And then when I changed the name, because the Bartcast wasn't something I could get across all platforms, because I guess the Georgia Bulldogs have a podcast or something like that on YouTube or something that has something to do with the Bartcast, and so I couldn't get that across all platforms, and that's one of my main goals, is to try to get everything the same across everything. That's normally
what you rather have.
Yeah,
of course.
So yeah, now the Doghouse Live is all socials, all everything. Twitter, from TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everything is officially all just Doghouse Live.
There you go.
So
achievement unlocked.
Yeah, exactly. But so one of the other things is, it's like, okay, one of the questions I had, because we also do a special segment, a special edition. That's the reason Weepy was on. She was the first guest for the women content, or the women creators section. Mm-hmm. And one of the things is, I asked her is, do you think it's harder being a female creator or a male creator? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things that depends, because I know the females everybody sits there and says it's so easy being a female creator.
Right.
But,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to say. Again, there's no standard, or there's no a good enough template to say, oh yeah, for sure, because this data reflects that.
Yeah.
I guess you just have to go by your own experience. And from what I've seen from female streamers, it's definitely harder for them. It's an uphill battle for some reason.
Yeah.
Just because people are dumb. People just don't know how to behave sometimes, and they lash out.
I think it's the maturity level. I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely the maturity level of the person, the viewer, or whoever comes in. And all right, sorry Trey, I didn't realize that the follower only mode was on, so it's been disabled. So, but you did follow, right? But yeah, it's crazy. No, yeah, streaming in general, it's a whole new thing. He says, "What's up? What's new? Nothing's new. What's up with you?"
I haven't seen you in a good minute, Triple. You good, buddy? Nice, bro. Okay.
So how long have you been creating content? How long have you been? When was the first day you went live? Do you remember?
The first day, no, I do not, but I do remember the game I played.
Remember the game?
Yes, it's one of the most hated games ever. Um, it was Mass Effect Andromeda. What up, Omni? My beloved dude.
What's up, Omni? Welcome to the channel.
But it was Mass Effect, and I was just like I said, I figured I would just go live and see what it did. I didn't really understand what Mixer was. To be quite honest with you, I was one of those guys that I I saw somebody streaming. I saw my younger brother watching a streamer, and I was one of those guys that I was like, "This is dumb."
You too, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Uh, I was like, "So you're telling me?" Like I told you how my family was,
Mhm.
or some of my cousins. That's how I was.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
the
like,
same
"You
way.
mean to tell me you're watching somebody else play games?" He's like, "Yes." And I was like, "All right,
Yeah,
whatever." I
it's
walked out.
it's the way I was.
But
It's like you know, especially like you know, because I watched a lot of you know, because back when Justin TV started, that's all they did was just watch you just certain games. That's all they played basically.
mhm.
So it's just like I watched a few of those, you know, when you pulled it up on the computer or whatever, and you know that was it. You know, it's just like never gave any thought to it.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
then
And see, I was so wrong,
yeah.
so wrong. Because at the time, I think I was kind of like losing a little bit of interest in gaming. Gaming had forever been my thing,
Yeah.
since I can remember. And at that time, I was like, I was kind of like getting a little bit, kind of like bored of it. Uh, and streaming picked it right back up,
Yeah.
and like just gave it a whole different meaning to games. So, so yeah, but I don't remember, but I do know it was like around. It was more than 5 years ago, actually.
Really?
Now, to say that I took it serious, I want to say 4 years ago.
Wow.
That's when I was like really say, okay, well, so how do you get that thing on top of your screen, or how do you get the little pop-up thing that says you have a new file? Or, oh, that's going overlay. Oh, okay. So what do I need? A computer? Oh shit. Okay. So you know, kind
Yeah.
of like that. So um, dude, I was so lucky to have one of my well, not my father, a good friend of mine, who was supportive of my community. He gifted me a computer.
Oh
I
wow.
just said, you know what, dude, spare parts. He's a big PC guy. It's like, I built you a computer from just. I'll show you later. I'll show you. I have a picture of it. The fucking thing wasn't even in the case. Like, he was like, dude, it's all connected how it should be. God bless. Have at it. Keep the fire extinguisher next to it, and you should be good. But that's how it started, dude. I kid you not.
Wow.
Those old monitors, what is it, 14 by 14 monitor?
Yeah.
The squared ones.
Yeah.
And then a little food tray, dude. I kid you not, it was embarrassing, man. I was like, but hey, I love it because it was like that's how it started.
Yeah.
And so thankful that that's how he helped me out.
Oh yeah.
He was the one that jump started everything for me, and everybody else that's down the line helping me, showing me new tricks, new stuff.
Yeah.
So great, dude. So great.
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, it helps. I mean, I think not just as a streamer, but I think it just kind of renews your idea of community and
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
just your faith in the human kindness. You know, just
Absolutely, dude.
you know, when people do that, you know, we are our own community. I mean, streamers, it doesn't matter how big, how small, you know, I hate using the word small streamer. So you will never, ever, ever hear me say small streamer, you know, because I don't think any of us are small. We might have low numbers and low views, but, you know, we are not small, because I believe mentally, if you sit there and call somebody small, you know,
Yes.
they end up with that stigma all the way through their career, and I think it will hinder their growth after a while.
Right. And I think that leads out to the next word that I hear a lot, and it's success. Like, how do you how do people gauge success, right?
Yeah.
So like I could tell you, I've been pretty successful in having a loyal community of people. It's not huge.
Yeah.
It's not, breaking numbers, but these people are by my side the entire time. No
Yeah.
matter what, no matter Mixer Shutdown, Twitch, Facebook, Glimish, whatever's come the Mixer 2.0, whatever comes up, they're gonna be there. And I think that's the most amazing thing that as a content creator you could have, because it's like, I mean, I don't deserve you guys, but I'm gonna try, right? I'm gonna try to keep you entertained. So
Loyal to the end.
yeah. So I mean, it's like, I remember one time, I actually one of my mods, loyal to, there he is. He's my right hand man, Eloise. He's my right hand man, dude. He's been with me since day one, actually.
Wow.
So he, so I think like I have a good friend of ours, Bing, Mr. Bing, call him Mr. Bing. He is from the UK, and this man would wake up at 4 a.m. to catch the streams.
Wow.
Religiously, dude. And he would obviously like sometimes support us financially, which is always, for content creators, it means the world.
Yeah.
But it's never about the money. It's just about the time that people give to you. And it was like, dude, like, I mean, even Aloise and I would be like in our DM sometimes. He's like, yo, my man, God bless him, dude. Because seriously, for him to have that amount of dedication.
Yeah.
And like you said, how how unselfish people can be,
Yeah.
So it's great, dude. It's such a huge compliment, and that's what really pushes you. That was really lifts you up, and be like, oh, shit, I'm impacting somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how far can we go?
Yeah, and that's the way I think everybody, it's the reason why, granted, all those bigger streamers, or the big ones like Tim and Nick and all them, the ones that, like I was telling Weepy, they do that. Yeah, they all started, and it's one thing you got to realize. 90% of us all started out the same way, with just our little gaming, group that we gamed with, and that does make it easier. If you have a group to game with, or somebody to come in, and even if it's one or two, just to come in and keep your chat or keep your stream not dead, dead air all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that helps a lot. But those bigger guys, they're contracted to play the games. They're contracted to, or their sponsors. They have to appease to all their sponsors and everything else. So their chat is like secondhand.
Yes.
They don't pay attention. If you have 10,000 people in your chat, of course you cannot keep up with them. It's just impossible. And me personally, if it happens, it happens, but that's not what I'm looking for. I like to have people coming in and talking, just keeping things, interesting, just kind of keeping the chat rolling, asking me questions. I have this one that comes in all the time. He's from the Philippines. He comes into my chat almost every time I'm live. Actually, he's probably lost because he's probably on my channel thinking I'm there tonight. But he comes in and he just talks randomly, asks questions. He keeps things going. He doesn't like scary, because I know him. Just for the little time he's been in there, I know he doesn't like scary games and he doesn't like shooter games. So if I pull up Phasmophobia, boom, he's gone. I know, and the shooter games, he might stick around for a little bit, but he bounces because that's not his thing, which, I don't ditch him for it. I don't, do anything. That's his deal. And that's the way, kind of the way I want everybody to realize when they come into my community, is exactly what the slogan says. You be what you want to be. It doesn't matter. It's a judgment-free zone. And that's the way I like coming into so many of the, the regular communities that actually have the time to spend and sit there. They might be playing a game, but, they go over and look at your chat. You can tell by their hand movements that they're going through chat, going up, rolling up through chat to see what they've missed. And they will announce you, or they will recognize you sooner or later, and if not, they'll recognize you the next time through, 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want one of those big communities. I mean,
No, it's kind of hard to say, right? Like it's
yeah,
like I love the identity of my community.
yeah,
Like you said, like they're all very different backgrounds, yet gaming and you know my channel or whatever, they've kind of put us together,
yeah.
and it's just it's our own thing. So to the point that like I'll use an example like Mr. Omni Gears, he like he is all about RPGs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be playing Battlefield, I'll be like, is this Pac-Man? Like, what am I watching, dude? And it's like, but I know he'll like, he's not his favorite, but he's there to
Yeah,
chat with us, right?
yeah.
And it's like, and I think that's the best thing, because if you build a community around a game, like a lot of people, in that whole Fortnite explosion, it was like, man, like they would drop off Fortnite and all of a sudden their viewership would drop,
Yeah.
and so it's to me, and dude, me, I switch games so much. It's like I leave everybody on a cliffhanger, and it's like, what are we playing next? Oh, I don't know, something completely opposite, dude. And it's like, oh, okay, well, shit, all right, here we go. So, but
Yeah, and I think it's those people there, the ones that stick around with you through the swapping back and forth. Those are the ones, like you said, like you're two there that have been with you for a while. It's like, even if they put that in the chat, loyal to the end, that says a lot. Coming into a channel that they've never been into before, and saying that to you. So, and actually coming over here and watching you.
Right.
So
yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Yeah, community. I think community is. I mean, I'm not saying it's just like, yeah, if one day, boom, this happens to blow up to the point where the chat's just constantly rolling. As long as I have moderators in there that can keep control of it and
Right.
Do the interaction with the chat while I'm doing the interviews.
It allows you to continue doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and not affecting the community any.
Exactly.
So, but,
Yeah. So, I mean, if you blew up, in let's say a month or so,
10
you
years.
blow up, right? And and I mean, you're gonna have to adjust, and that's
Oh,
I think
God,
that's one of the problem, that is a lot of people don't like to change,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be like, oh, you become a big shot or
Yeah.
something, and it's like, well, you have to, like, I mean, you're not gonna turn away people,
Yeah.
right? It's just the biggest, I think the biggest mission is to keep your community feel,
Yeah.
and so I think that's, if you manage to keep that, then you're set, and that's where your community comes in and helps you keep that, everybody in the reins of like, okay, this is what we do here. You can't come in here saying a bunch of stuff that doesn't fit here. Get out.
Yeah.
They'll just weed them out.
Yeah.
But
By the way, I love the content and agree from experience. Yeah, as a viewer, we tend to be drawn more to our interests, just like when we watch TV in a way. So if a streamer plays a game we enjoy, we tend to be there. Oh, yeah.
yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, sooner or later, if it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you have some type of an interacting community or something like that, or something that somebody wants, with the, what is it, like 4 million people that watch your view or something like that. I know it's probably over exaggerated, but I know there's millions and millions of people that watch, Twitch. You probably have another, couple 100,000 on some of the other platforms. And then, I'm sorry, Glimish, you only have 10 over there. But you will get there. I promise, Glimish, you will get there.
Come on, Glimish. I believe in you, baby.
We're all waiting for you. Yeah, I got today. It was kind of a funny story. I sit there and messaged the creator of Glimish. I sit there and it's like, dude, yeah, I do this little talk show over here on Twitch, and I'm sitting there and I never got a response for him. And I got to thinking about it. It's like, oh crap, it's probably because I'm on Twitch. So that's one of the reasons why I started multi-streaming.
Yeah,
Is because of the fact, because if I have two developer I have two developers coming up at the end of the month. One of them is, I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's an awesome little platform called Greasy Gamers. It's now called GG's TV. Um,
I've heard.
it's a social media platform that is designed completely around gamers. It's like a combination of Twitter, Discord, um, and uh, yeah, it's freaking awesome. I mean, I kind of teetled with it a little bit, when I first got somebody sent me a link to it, but it's just like, oh, cool. But yeah, it's kind of like Twitter, but you can do the exact same thing in it that you can with Discord, and you can do the exact same thing in it as you can with, like an Instagram. It's basically all social media combined into one.
Wow, that's a
So
big take.
they're gonna be
Yeah.
on Saturday. They're gonna be on Saturday afternoon. So I've got them coming
Oh
on.
shit.
He's gonna
Nice.
come on and kind of give a spiel and kind of introduce that. So, and then the next one, the last Saturday of the month, I have. Sorry, I'm plugging my streams.
Damn it. Whose channel is this? Whose channel is this, man?
But anyways, at the end of the month, we have another. Well, you're talking about content and getting people's attentions and stuff like that. But the next one at the end of the month is Make Echoes. This gentleman here, he's been. It's a paid service, but it alleviates the ability. It's okay. I guess I'll back up. My ADHD is getting away. It's a clipping service. What it does is like
Mhm.
it attaches to you link it with your Twitch channel. It only works on Twitch. You link it with your Twitch channel, and every time you can either set up a Stream Deck command for it, or you have a mod command in your chat that you can set up. And what it does is it's just kind of like a clipping service. You hit that command, and it'll clip like 30, 90,
Okay.
or 120-second clips. And what it does when you end your stream, it takes all of those clips that you have clipped and puts it into a montage. It's just a plain Jane montage, but you can either have the option of it automatically after the embargo's over for Twitch, uploading it to YouTube without any effort from you. It just automatically does it.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that way, or you can hold off and then go back through and add music or whatever you want to do
Right,
to it.
right. Modify it a little bit.
Yeah, but he's also been working on some things for Twitter to where you can clip it instantly and it'll automatically go to Twitter. So things like that. I think that's going to be an option in there. Like I said, it is a paid service, but I think it's like $30 a month or $40 a month. I can't remember, but
Okay.
I think once it gets all done and he gets everything together, I think it's beneficial container. When you pay for convenience over, doing it
Right.
yourself.
The ease of things.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, no, yeah, it's just content creation is just crazy. It's an open door. You can do whatever you want to.
You really can. I think, like to me, like I want to say one of my biggest flaws is that I'm not really socially active, social media active.
Yeah,
So like my Twitter is active. I think that's when I can easily just post something or whatever,
yeah,
thank somebody. Uh, but as far as I've never really been the person like to make a post of myself saying something and then putting it on Instagram. Like
yeah,
I've never been. I was like, oh, so I'm dumb.
yeah,
Delete. I'll delete it. But with the music, it's been so easy to promote it, and is like I started editing videos on my phone to promote a clip,
yeah,
put that on Instagram, put it on Twitter. So for that's easier, and I think that's one of the things that I kind of like didn't consider when I was working on the music. Eventually, I said I'm gonna have to promote the hell out of this somehow. But when I started doing it, I was like, okay, well, that's pretty easy. And using, again, those illustrations, those animations and everything, it just allowed it kind of like, oh, cool. Okay, perfect fit for this. Boom, let's put that in there. A little clip. How do you do this? Okay, done. So it's really true what you just said. Is just the internet allows it. Well, sometimes you have certain restraints, but
yeah.
most of the time it's just easy. You just have to do a few modifications and boom, you're done.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the services you spoke of. I mean, they're pretty interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, I was, like I said, I was trying to get Glimish on here, but like I said, I realized probably the reason why he denied it is because I told him I was a talk show on Twitch. So, but, so yeah, no, and it's diversifying yourself, as a content creator, and I think it's why so many content creators fail is because once they start getting into it, as our experience with what we just, the community and stuff, we just went through all that rigmarole.
Hmm.
Um, it's like people don't realize it's just like you cannot just hit the live button and expect, especially if you're part of a Discord community or a Gilded community or something like that. You might have thousands of people in those communities, but there may be only maybe 5% of them, if that, maybe only 1% that actually has the alerts turned on.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's like,
and
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
but yeah, it's just like, so you've got to realize it's like, yeah, when I found out that there was so much work, when I found my puppy back here, when I found out there was so much work involved, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I really was. I was flabbergasted.
It really is, dude. I think when like other streamers or streamers that are starting, learning the industry or whatever, sometimes when they ask me like on Discord or DM, they say like, "Hey, like, you know, how do you do this or how do you do that?" Well, the most things I say is network,
Yeah.
just engage with people. You never know what people will be saying or what they'll remember. But I mean, yeah, you're right. A lot of people just thought like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and hit live. I'm gonna become famous. I'm not gonna put any work into it. Just gonna game, and then we're done. Right? Got it. Good. So when they found out like, I had an experience with a streamer. Shall rename nameless, but um, this person was watching me for the longest time. Right? I had already set up my stuff, well, not the current overlays I have, but the ones I started with. I took a lot of modifications and it's done. It was pretty original. I was pretty proud of those. So then one day he decided to go to stream and say, you know what? He hit me up and say, hey, I wonder if you could help me out and coach me in some ways. I was doing okay on Mixer at that point, not like amazing, okay, like just I was growing my community a little by little. So he's like, can you give me some pointers and whatever? Sure, open door. I
Mhm.
told him a bunch of stuff, gave him a ton of advice. So first thing he said is, well, will you be my mod? And I was like, no, because I wouldn't really have time to be in your stream. I need to be in your stream to mod, first of all.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, can one of your mods be my mod? And it's like, no, you need to grow your community, dude. And he's like, yeah, but I'm in part of your community. I was like, I get it. You are, but you don't really engage with us. We had a Discord,
Mm.
we have all that stuff. So he didn't really engage with us. So I was like, if you want to, in fact, that's how I met one of my second oldest mods, Deadly. He was a mod for another person, and he kind of started just kind of hopping onto mine more.
Yeah.
Uh, and then he just became my mod. Um, so he's like, well, can you do this? Can you do this? So kind of like I kind of felt like not necessarily he was poaching, but he didn't want to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so how about you talk to the ones that are in your stream the most and ask them if they want to do it. That's the one thing. Then later he just would come into my channel, self promote,
Oh,
and
jeez.
then it's like, oh, that's a no no, dude. Like, yeah, but he in his eyes or in his mind was like, hey, you know me, we're tight, we're cool. I was like, yeah, we're cool. Like we can talk and everything, but you don't do that. That's not right. That's not, it's not professional. It's
Yeah.
put in the work, dude. Just put in the work. And then we just ended up not talking over other things too, but he just did not want to put in the work, you
Yeah.
know? So I was like, okay, I get it. I'm not going to force you. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the best thing because I'm not a professional at this, but it's like, I mean, you're asking for advice, you don't want to follow it. I think that's where we part ways, right? So it's like, um, after that, it kind of just changed my mind. And when people would come into my Discord, if other streamers come into my Discord, uh, I love the stream drama gossip. Well, thank you. I know you do, buddy. Uh, so in when people come into my Discord specifically, my community knows. exactly when somebody's trying to fish for views.
Mm.
We've said, you and I have talked that,
Yeah.
in the past, and it's like they know, and that's the beauty of it, is like, oh god, we don't
We
need
don't
to
need
relive
any
that.
views.
So it's like, if they know exactly what's going to happen. And on occasion, one of my mods would ask me privately, "Yo, you good with this, or do you want me to secretly delete it?" And it's like, I mean, leave it. Nobody's gonna watch, you know.
Sadly.
So what up, Chad? So yeah, it's just one of those things that is just, I mean, people just have to learn, but they have to learn that, a network for sure. It's the work, how you said, the editing,
Yeah.
everything that happens after the stream, right? Like, of course, not a lot of people do. A lot of people just go offline, and that's it.
Yeah.
Till the next stream, and that's cool. That's their preference. That's their choice. But for those that want to push it a little bit more, yeah, it's during the week.
I was here for a bit, but apparently never followed. So here I haven't been able to talk. Yeah,
So
I
there you go.
know. I
Yeah,
had the follow channel. I didn't realize the follow only thing was on. I'm sorry. Trey's already chewed my ass out for it.
Yeah, Triple Trey already. And in fact, I think Omni told me in my Discord that I couldn't chat either.
Yeah, I did. I totally did not realize that was like a
like,
default.
Okay.
And that's one thing I just never even went to look at.
Well, now we know, right?
That's all right. Talking about networking, I just totally befoozled mine. I forgot to even host this channel on my channel. So,
well, there you go.
But yeah, no, yeah, there's a lot of work behind. It's. I mean, yeah, and they like like I said, they see the larger numbered streamers. They see them just doing it, but they also got to realize they have people that sit there and employ people to do that for them. It's just like Tim has Whips. Whips does Whips controls his entire stream.
Everything. Yeah.
Whips Whips has total. He just doesn't have editor access over Tim's stream. He has the entire stream key.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of people there that can afford that, or I mean, I have people, your mods, your mods are one of the biggest things. It's like if you can find trustworthy mods like Chad, and Sneakers. Chad's one of my bomb mods, and I feel like I actually sometimes I feel like I because I feel bad a lot of times, because a lot of times when people stream, I am at work. So it's like, sorry, I had to mod him because he's a mod on my other channel, so I had to mod him on this one too. But yeah, it's like
you're clocking in, Chad. You just got clocked in, sir.
But yeah, people don't understand what mods. You're talking about people coming in and just asking to be mod. And we said the same thing. People would just come into their chat and ask, "Hey, can you mod me?" It's like y'all don't understand people don't understand what mods are.
No, dude.
They think all mods do is get to have the band hammer. That's it.
Right. Right, and look different. Have a different color, different icon there, and that's it. The authority. Yeah, I mean, I modded for a couple of pretty busy streamers and Mixer, and dude, if I modded, that's what they knew. Like, if I modded, I was like on the clock, dude. I was like, no joke. What do you need? Boom, boom, boom. Like, I was on it. I was whatever, right? Like, you really have to dedicate time to it. Like, I feel bad. Pay the mod start. I got you, bro. That that hashtag is not really trending, but we'll try. He
feed the mods.
Damn it, you guys distracted. Fuck, I forgot. Thank you, Omni and Snipe. Oh, we call him Snipe. His name's Snipe. But talking about mods, right?
Yeah.
Shit, it's gone.
It's gone. I have those moments too. Don't feel bad. But people don't understand. It's like when you sign up to be a mod, when that's the reason why they tell you when you go to find a mod, make sure it's somebody you can trust.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because
and a lot of people just pick somebody like Oh, you've been here through streams? You're straight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
And granted, 90% of the time, people in my chat, everybody that's in my chat is always a mod, but because Chad's a mod, Sneakers is a mod, Miss Hellfire, and the reason why I made them mods is because they had a maturity level that I knew I could probably trust, and plus I've known them for a while,
Right.
and they've helped me out, with the stream and stuff like that by talking to other people that come through chat, and but yeah, a mod is. Why do you think people, you see these little clips about people doing mod interviews, or you have to fill out a mod application, a mod
Yeah.
because they have control over the most important part of your stream, and that is your chat.
Right.
Because they can totally,
Yes, your engagement,
yeah.
you know.
If they ban, just like Sneakers, he loves the ban hammer, but he always wants to ban everybody, but he never does. He just kind of says that, but it's just like because I had to tell him one time is like because he's one of my younger guys that come through, but he's like just by his maturity level when he was on Mixer, I never made him a mod on Mixer just for the fact because he didn't have the maturity level yet. But he proved himself over here. So, but he talks to chat, talks to new people when they come in and stuff like that. So that's the reason why he got mod. Chad's just been with me forever too. So Chad's pretty good about catching shit that I don't see. So I mean, there's times I'll look at my mod queue and it's just like banned, banned, banned. It's like what? Yeah, and he really almost
Oh
blew it.
wow.
Sneaker banned my wife one time.
He went all out, huh?
Well, the thing I forgot I was playing around with Wisebot, and I forgot they have a banned all command when you type in exclamation
Holy
point
shit.
ban. It bans
Wow.
whoever's name you put there, no matter if they're a mod or whatever. And I did not realize that, because
So he's like, "Tick."
yeah, he was just
So,
playing around, and he put exclamation point banned in the chat, and put my wife's Twitch handle behind it, and I get this notification sitting there, or I get this text message from my wife saying, "Why am I banned? What the hell's going on?" I was like, "What?" And I looked, and it's like, "Oh,
what do you gotta
Sneakers,
tell
you
me?
fucked up."
Yeah, right. You're gonna demote you for a little bit. um,
But yeah, people just don't understand mods. Mods are, that's the reason why they have so many, competitions and stuff like that. And I'm trying to, if I could ever get to the point to where, we can have a day together where we can all get together and do it. I want to have like a mod, like a little mod, challenge type thing. But it's like getting everybody together because Chad's from Canada. One of the other mods is from the other side of the states.
mhm.
I do have one mod here, but every time she finds a new boyfriend, she disappears. So, yeah, it's just kind of hard getting everybody together. But yeah, mods make your channel, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you might be the creator, but the mods is what keeps you keep the channel rolling. Your mods keep the chat rolling.
right. Yeah, it's like Eloise is his job, his primary role is just to like talk shit to me. I think that's what his job is. And then on occasion, I'll tell him like, hey, even though we're playing together, like I'll
Pulling the
be
wood behind the curtain. Nice.
I'll just be like, hey, can you help me with a shout out? And I know he's playing with me, so it's like, but don't put the controller down. Carry me but give a shout out. So it's all like shit, like, so, like but
I mean, even Chad's pretty good. Even when we're playing games, he'll still catch shit that I don't see. So, I mean, Chad's. I feel sorry I haven't been able to compensate him like I've been able to in the past, but hopefully the time will come.
yeah.
But
And Omni Gears, he's not too familiar with the whole how the stream is set up type of stuff. So one time I screen shared, my OBS because I was working on something,
mhm.
and he was like, "That's why he's saying the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain because you got to see like all the all the things."
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I mean, mods are like I said, Alois has been with me since day one. Deadly, probably I want to say like half a year later. And then Mr. Bing, which is our man from the UK, he's my third mod. I've only had those three mods since I started. I haven't had
yeah.
any more, and And even when we would be part of the AOD Spotlight
Yeah.
event from AOD, when I was being hosted by it, people would ask me, "You want me to mod for you?" And I was like, "I'm good. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine. Thanks. I mean, I just have those three people, and that's they've been with me. I'm not paying them,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because when you're into the, like that, too, everybody's asking me, it's like, oh, you need a mod. It's like, no, I got, if I get to the point where I need a mod, I have, usually, Chad's usually in 90% of my streams. Sneakers is usually in probably about 80% of them. So, there's a chance that one out of 10 streams, I probably won't have a mod, but that's probably the one night I probably don't need one. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's cool. I like this. Yeah, like I said, the biggest thing is like I like doing this because I get to know more about other than just what we talk about on a random day.
Right.
And
Yeah, for sure.
but
And you don't really get to talk to anybody. Like if you think about it, like there's sometimes where you just want to talk to somebody else that would understand
yeah,
something in your content creating world.
yeah,
And you're like, you're just gonna tell Bob at the next office, they'll be like, "What? Get out." So um, and so a lot of times, like I can talk to my mods in my community about something that happened, but I know that there's something missing as far as the content creating part,
yeah,
or field of view that they're like, "Oh yeah, I do this or try that or this."
yeah,
So it's kind of cool to have a talk about the same field. So
yeah. Um, okay, well I know you got family time and stuff like that, and I know when does school start for you guys? This week, or has it already started?
for my son, he's his first year in kindergarten, so he started 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So
Uh, so you're trying to get in the routine of everything,
yeah,
uh, which is pretty crazy. It's crazy how I want to say a small modification to your life impacts every family member. Like my
yeah.
daughter misses him like crazy. My wife's schedule changed. My son's changed in 2 weeks. Like what the heck is happening? Like you kind of don't want things to change, but at the same time, it's like it's cool.
Yeah.
He's gonna grow up. He's gonna be, but yeah, it's weird. I'm
Mm.
so close to my kids, man. It's just,
Well, that's
and I have
cool.
a third one on the way, so that's gonna
Oh
be freaking
wow!
interesting.
Congrats.
So yeah, thank you. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have a little. I'm gonna mod them in my stream so I could take care of Alois. Uncle Alois is gonna keep him busy. Yeah.
But so yeah, that's cool. That's cool. See, otherwise, if I didn't have a conversation, I probably wouldn't have, realized that right away either. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
but thanks for everything, dude. I
no
mean, I really
problem.
enjoyed this conversation. I mean, if we can follow up at
Yeah.
another time, that'd be great.
Oh hell
Even
yeah.
on voice chat and Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always welcome.
Yeah. And I have one last question for you. It's like if you were to write a book about your experiences, what would be the title?
Experiences in content creating, or
Combine them
in
both.
what?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
part of your life. So I mean, what would you if it was?
Um,
I mean,
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat and revert back to a paper I did a
okay.
little while ago, and I called it the ocean.
Okay.
Um, and in that story, it was kind of like a metaphor version of everything, um, meaning that I've always had. I saw this little message or phrase. It said, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." I don't know if you ever heard that.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that, like heard
Okay.
that, and I was like, just because of my struggles in life, uh, been quite a bit.
Yeah.
My career has been really struggling. Well, not struggling, but my road too was uphill,
Yeah.
like terrible. So, in that story, I just manifested it as I'm in a boat, and my crew is my family.
Okay.
So, I put it as kind of like I was very dramatic. I was so dramatic, but I got so many compliments from the professor and stuff.
Nice.
Um, but it was like the boat is beaten up boards are missing. It's going through the storm and everything. And looking back, I see my crew behind me, and I see my, I describe my wife as somebody else, my mom, my brothers,
Mm-hmm.
my father, and all of them I shared a different part of life. Described as a different part of life. So I would say I would call it the ocean, just
Wow.
because it could be so peaceful and it could test you to like no end, right? So that I kind of stole that from my college days. So
No, that's perfect, man. That's perfect. Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, wow. So
yeah,
yeah, cool. All right, my dude. Well, like I said, I'll let you go so you can do family time, and I probably need to go do a little bit of family time too. So
yeah, for sure, man. You're busy.
before I
You're
get any
busy.
more doors slammed. Um, but
No, but thanks again for everything.
Weepy, I'm gonna have to bow out now. Go to bed. Been great watching. Love to meet you. Oh, she was in here. What's up, Weepy?
Weepy, have a good night.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Weepy.
everything.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, like I said, one of these days we'll get together and we'll just have like a little Friday night. Oh, you've been lurking. Oh, you're a lurker, huh? Oh, I see you.
Oh,
I see you. No. Yeah, we'll all get together and just kind of crack open a few beers and just kind of take a few hours out and just kind of chill and just talk about life and everything else and blah.
yeah, for sure, man. I'm always down for that.
Well, yeah, Chad. I figured you were sleeping since you had to been at work at 5 this morning. So, or up at 5 this morning. No, you had to be at work at 5 this morning, and he was still in my chat at 11 o'clock. So,
Wow, look at that, man. That's love right there.
but yeah, yeah. Like I said, this has been awesome. This has been a good night, and
Mhm.
it'll probably be a few days, but I'll have this all up on Spotify and all that good junk, YouTube. Like I said, I don't have much editing to do on these two, so that'll make it easy. Um,
Yeah, awesome. And thanks again, dude. Thanks again for taking the time and the
no, dude.
invite. That's
No,
great.
thank you for making the time to come on. I was really good. And like I said, I found out a lot of good things, and that's what I like. It's like I wanted to know a little bit more about your music. I was really impressed with the fact that it wasn't the synthesized music. It was actually
Right.
all put together,
Yeah.
by real instruments and real people, and so that was cool to know. So I learned a lot tonight from everybody. So, but yeah, yeah, we'll do this again soon. Like I said, dark exed. Oh, God damn
Yeah,
it.
there it is. Dark.
Dark,
Dark is
ladies and
good.
gentlemen, dark. Go
Thank you
check him out on
guys.
Spotify and follow him on Twitch. Oh, hang on, I can't spell. And make sure you go follow him on Spotify and Twitch, and go give him a listen. He's got some cool music out there. And you said another album's on the way.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes. I'll notify everybody.
stay tuned for that. And anyways, like I said, thank you again, sir. I appreciate your time,
Yeah, you
and
guys have a wonderful night.
we'll,
Thank you.
we'll talk to you out and about here soon, probably.
You got it, buddy.
All right, man. Night.
Later, guys.